At 70, John is used to quiet evenings, no longer expecting much from that thing. And yet, in just a few short weeks, a spark has been rekindled in a relationship that seemed to have faded. The reason? Not medicine, but wine. But not all of them are effective. There are only 5 special types of wine, which have been recognized by senior health experts as being able to increase blood circulation, support natural hormones, and especially, rekindle physical and emotional bonding after the age of 60. Welcome to the channel, where we bring life lessons from those who have gone before. Today's story is not just about wine, but also about love, intimacy, and a new beginning at an age when it seems like everything has ended. If you have ever heard, tried, or doubted the benefits of wine for health and intimacy, honey, don't hesitate to leave a comment below. Each of your little shares could be a great source of inspiration for others. Now let's explore with me the 5 wines that helped Mr. John find the fire of love again in his own home. But emotions, especially physical intimacy after 60, do not come from will or memory. It needs to be awakened, gently. And sometimes, that restart comes from something very simple.
A glass of wine, the right tip, at the right time.
The first wine we want to introduce to you is jokingly called by health experts Pinot Noir, the wine that revives feelings. Pinot Noir is famous as the muse of red wine, with a gentle, elegant flavor. But few people know that hidden behind the gentleness is a powerful natural medicine. Because Pinot Noir contains the highest resveratrol content of all wines. According to research from the University of Alberta, Canada, resveratrol, a polyphenol found in red grape skin, has been shown to dilate blood vessels, improve blood circulation throughout the body, increase oxygen supply to organs, including areas associated with emotions and desire. Source: Science Daily, 2012. Unlike synthetic drugs, resveratrol works gently but persistently, helping the body regulate hormones, slightly reducing blood pressure, stabilizing heart rate, while creating a feeling of nerve relaxation, an important premise for intimacy.
What about people over 60?
If you are in your late afternoon, when blood vessels gradually harden, your hands and feet are often cold, your heart rate is no longer as strong as before, then a small glass of Pinot Noir every night can be a vitamin dose for your marital relationship. Just 2 to 3 small glasses per week. Many users share. My hands are warmer.
Every time my wife sit close to me, my heart beats faster. I feel like a real husband again.
A small glass before going to bed. No need for fuss. Just pour it into a glass, sit next to each other, tell a few old stories. Is enough to start a new communication, both warm and intimate. And that's just the first one. Stay tuned, because the second one we're about to share not only helps your body stay flexible, but also helps you sleep deeply, have beautiful dreams, and love life more every morning when you wake up. Just a small glass of Pinot Noir is enough to rekindle the gentle feeling that once slept in your heart. But if you ever feel like your body is not responding as it used to, that is, your hands and feet are cold, your lower abdomen is not warm, intimacy becomes forced, then the next wine is your most reliable companion. Cabernet Sauvignon, the wine that softens the heart and body. Cabernet Sauvignon is not as light as Pinot, it is rich, deep and slow. Like the way people learn to love each other again in their old age, not hastily, but sincerely. Behind the light astringency and deep sweetness is a very special active ingredient called proanthocyanidins, a group of flavonoids that have been scientifically proven to
reduce arteriosclerosis,
increase blood vessel elasticity, help blood circulate more strongly and evenly, especially in distant areas such as the chest, lower abdomen, limbs, and genitals. In a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, a group of elderly people who consumed flavonoids from red wine regularly have been recorded to soften blood vessels, stabilize blood pressure, and significantly improve peripheral vascular function. Both men and women after the age of 60 often fall into a state of
feeling close but feeling like stranger,
wanting to love, but the body is cold, quiet, and lazy to respond. Cabernet Sauvignon is not strongly stimulating like drugs, but it unlocks little by little. For men, feel the recovery of natural physiological reflexes, no need to force. Women, feel the lower abdomen warm up, reduce the feeling of tightness, dryness, easier to breathe when close. The result? Not back to the 20s, but
Back to yourself. Appartenez-vous quand sti love, sti want to be loved, in a qu'un gentle way.
So when is the best time to use it? You can have it after dinner, especially if it is light and not greasy. Ideally, one small glass, 100 to 120 milliliters, poured into a thin glass. Sit in a room with soft yellow light. Beside your partner. You can add a plate of less sweet fruit such as soft cheese, black grapes or almonds. More careful couples also put on some old music. No lyrics, just piano music. Let the alcohol soak in. And so do the emotions. When the alcohol begins to be absorbed through the stomach and into the blood, after only 20 to 30 minutes, the capillaries begin to dilate. Blood flow to the heart, brain, and genitals increases slightly. The heart rate increases naturally, but without causing anxiety. The hormone oxytocin, also known as the bonding hormone, also begins to increase slightly. Combined, the body becomes softer, more sensitive, more approachable. Cabernet softens the body, both physically and emotionally. But sometimes, intimacy is not simply close in distance, it is felt through the skin and the body. For many postmenopausal women, the problem is not wanting, but not feeling. No more excitement, no response, and no longer knowing if you are attractive.
Detes wen sangiovese comes in like a warm breeze. Asterisk reawakening the peripheral nervous system, the skin, and the sleeping emotional area.
Sangiovese, the wine that awakens the skin and emotions. Sangiovese is a classic Italian red grape variety, rich in flavonoids and especially quercetin. Two natural compounds that have a pronounced effect on the peripheral circulatory system and tactile sensation. According to research published in Molecules Journal, 2020. Quercetin acts as a powerful antioxidant flavonol, dilating capillaries and increasing blood flow to the dermis and peripheral tissues. Flavonoids in red wine also increase the production of endogenous nitric oxide, thereby naturally dilating blood vessels, promoting blood flow to sensitive skin areas. In postmenopausal women, estrogen decline leads to a decrease in blood flow to the vagina and skin, leading to dryness, decreased sensation when touching, loss of reflexes to normal stimuli. Sangiovese, thanks to its complex of natural plant active ingredients, helps to improve blood circulation to those areas in a gentle way, gentle but effective. Not only does it make the skin pinker and warmer, but it also helps to re-stimulate the tactile nerve receptors, from the neck, shoulders, chest to the genital area. The medical mechanism has been studied. Quercetin supports anti-inflammation of capillaries, helping blood flow more freely to soft tissues. Flavonoids increase the activity of the enzyme enos, thereby helping to dilate blood vessels and increase blood flow to peripheral areas, especially effective in conditions of reduced circulation due to aging. Increased peripheral circulation leads to stronger sensory nerve responses, supporting the ability to perceive touch, vibration, and stimulation in physical communication. This is a solid medical basis, explaining why just a few glasses of Sangiovese a week are enough to. Women feel their skin, flesh, and sensations when touched again. Reduce numbness and coldness in sensitive areas. And most importantly, remove the invisible barrier between mind and body. The appropriate way to use is 2 to 3 glasses/week, 90 to 100 milliliters each time, used in the afternoon or evening. Can be used with red fruit or a light meal rich in good fats, such as fish, avocado, olive oil, to support flavonoid absorption. Should be maintained continuously for at least 3 to 4 weeks to clearly feel the effects on the skin, blood vessels, and sensory nerves. Sangiovese is not just a wine, but a catalyst to help the woman's body, after many years of silence, speak up again. A voice that does not need words, but just a look, a touch, is enough to hear. Sangiovese helps a woman's body listen to itself again. But sometimes, just feeling is not enough. What is missing is the harmony between two souls, two bodies, looking at each other, opening up, relaxing together. And there is a type of wine, as gentle as the pink mist of the morning,
Not too strong, not too astringent.
but hidden inside is the invisible connection between two people who have been together for half a lifetime. That is
DRY rosé. The secret gemme for women after 60.
this type of wine is usually made from Grenache or Mourvèdre grapes, grape varieties famous for their very high content of natural plant polyphenol. But the special thing about rose is that the extraction method only takes a light pink color, retaining the active ingredients without having a too strong taste. So it is very suitable for the body that has passed puberty and is in need of pampering. According to research published in nutrition reviews, the polyphenol in dry rose have the ability to enhance microcirculation. That is, help blood flow to the smallest capillaries, including genital tissue, the skin of the neck, lower abdomen, and chest area. In postmenopausal women, these places often sleep due to lack of blood, lack of hormones, and lack of nerve signals. As a result, they no longer secrete, no longer have interest, and no longer have sensation. Dry rose helps to re-irrigate that area by dilating capillaries, reducing mild inflammation, and increasing peripheral nerve sensation.
Not too sudanli.
But enough that, after a few weeks of regular use, women begin to feel
Soft when to shed.
natural moisture returns. And especially, the feeling of being close without having to force it. Dry rose is not just for one person. It is especially effective when both of you drink it together, look at each other, sit down, and relax your mind.
The best time.
Is on a weekend evening. No need to prepare much. Just a space with soft lights, a small fruit tray, and 2 thin glasses. Each person. Just a small glass of about 90 milliliters.
Don't get drunk. Just let out a lombrice. And sit a little closer together.
Biologically, dry rose increases nitric oxide secretion, stimulates the emotional area of the brain, and stabilizes the sympathetic nervous system, thereby removing anxiety, reducing spasms, expanding tactile signals. When the body is no longer tense, emotions are allowed to flow. Dry rose does not cause the heart to beat faster, but it makes the woman want to be hugged, to whisper, to be close. Not out of obligation, but because the heart has softened after years of living for others. A wine that needs no words. Just 2 silent glances are enough to understand each other.
DRY rosé, à gentle gemme.
That awakens the emotions of a woman who thought she had fallen asleep. Dry rose is a soft thread that connects emotions between 2 people. But for men, especially after the age of 60, emotions are not enough. They need something else. Something that no one can see, but they feel very clearly. That is courage. Not courage to show off, but to not feel helpless. When the woman beside them starts to live again. And I am not sure if I can still maintain the role of the leader. And that is the reason. We need to mention the last wine. That few people notice, but quietly supports men from within. That is Malbec, wine that strengthens men's courage. Malbec, a dark red wine, often considered silent.
Not à sweet à rosé, not à élégant à Pinot.
But hidden inside Malbec is an amazing biological power. According to an analysis by Food Chemistry magazine, Malbec contains higher levels of flavonoids and anthocyanins than most other wines. This is a group of active ingredients that play an important role in activating the production of nitric oxide, the substrate for natural erectile ability in men. When nitric oxide increases, blood vessels dilate better. Blood is pumped to the genitals evenly, deeply, and stably. Not only does it help to start faster, but it also maintains a longer, stronger erection reflex.
Without the need for supportive dru.
For men over 65, when testosterone declines and blood vessels gradually harden, flavonoid supplementation through Malbec helps slow down the aging process of male physiology. And gradually, the ability to get back on track is no longer a fantasy. No need to drink much. Just 2 to 3 small glasses a week, about 100 to 120 milliliters each time. After dinner, in a relaxed and carefree state. Should be taken with foods rich in protein or good fats such as salmon, eggs, or cheese. Malbec does not create an immediate feeling of excitement. It goes slowly, but surely. Silently restores blood vessels. Strengthens hormones. And especially, restores the silent belief in the heart of a man that he is still enough to love, enough to lead, enough to make a woman feel secure. Malbec is not for show. It is for men who have gone through most of their lives and only need one thing.
When he touches the woman he love.
She still closes her eyes and smiles.
Malbec doesn't make men young again.
But it makes them feel full, warm enough,
Strong enough.
and enough for their wives to lean on, without saying anything. But this is not just words. Not theory. Not just flavonoids, nitric oxide, or any biological mechanism. Because, behind every glass of wine is a real life. A real person. And a real journey, to find themselves again. His story starts like many other men after the age of 60, and ends as a gentle reminder that motivation is something that can be revived. Richard, 67 years old, former civil engineer. Richard lives in a small town in the American West. He is a husband, a father, and has been retired for more than 2 years. On the surface, Richard was fine, eating regularly, in good health. But inside, there was a void he had never spoken of. It was the feeling of helplessness whenever his wife wanted to be close to him. Not because he didn't love her, but because his body no longer responded the way it used to. He said there were nights when she gently placed her hand on his chest, and he turned his back, pretending to be asleep. I wasn't afraid of failure. I was just afraid of my wife's eyes looking at me, and then trying to pretend it was okay.
Richard, 67.
Once, at a meeting of old friends, there was a cardiologist who had studied with him in college. Suggested to him about Malbec wine. Not a medicine. Not much. Just 2 to 3 small glasses a week. Be patient.
Take it slow. Richard started.
Not expecting much. The first week, no difference. The second week, better sleep. The third week, he felt his body warming up in the evenings. And the fourth week, for the first time in years, when his wife touched his shoulder, he didn't flinch. I looked at her. I didn't say anything. But for the first time, I found myself wanting to stay in that moment. I wasn't afraid.
Richard. For Richard, Malbec wasn't magic.
But it was a small bridge that quietly led him back to a part of himself he thought he'd lost. The one who took the initiative. The one who protected him. The man his wife had always trusted.
No fear work.
No need to say, I'm back.
Just a handshake.
And a night where he didn't turn his back. And sometimes, just that was enough to make a woman happy for life.
And like Richard, sommet-him, just one small action.
Can change the rest of your life.
A glass of wine.
A look. An evening that is no longer silent. But here is an important thing. I want to send to you, and your partner.
Wine can solve everything.
It's not that drinking will bring intimacy back. No wine can replace genuine care. But if you choose the right wine, drink it at the right moment, and use it as a way to open your heart, then wine can be the gentlest key to reopening a long-closed door to intimacy. It doesn't change the past, but it can soften the quiet years. It doesn't revive your youth, but it can
help your body remember how to be loved, and know how to love again.
a small drink,
On a quiet evening. No fun, no rush. Just the two of you.
and a little willingness to sit a little closer.
Wine warms the body.
But more importantly,
It warm back.
the connection that was once all there was. So, if you're teetering between distance and silence, start again.
Take it easy. No expectation.
Just a small gesture, and a glass of wine at the right time. If you found this video helpful,
Leave a comment below. Share your story, your experience.
or just a few words,
Because maybe
those words will give hope to someone who needs more than you think. And if you want to join us on this journey of discovering health, intimacy, and happiness in old age, click the subscribe button, because there are many profound things ahead. I wish you and your partner good health, always understanding each other,
and always keeping a warm fire. Not burning brightly.
just not extinguished.
See you again.
In the next videos.
Love.